Hi, Tiffany. How are you? Good morning. Hey, hi, Pranav. How are you?
Good morning. Do we want to give a couple of minutes for everybody to log on, or do you want to go ahead and get started?
Tiffany, you may start.
Okay, perfect. Um, First of all, I would just like to thank everybody for taking some time to join us this morning. My name is Tiffany. I'm the Business Development Manager for Silver Touch here in the US and Canada. I'd like to start just by giving everybody a little brief overview of Silver Touch. Pranav, do you want to share your screen?
Is my screen visible, Tiffany?
Oh, there we go. Now we're there. Sorry about that, everybody. So I just want to start, introduce myself again. I'm Tiffany. I'm the Business Development Manager at Silver Touch for the US and Canada. Just want to give you guys a little brief overview of who we are at Silver Touch and what we do. We've have over 29 years of experience in the IT industry. We've got over 2,000 clients worldwide, 1,500 plus skilled professionals who've completed over 4,000 projects, 218 plus SAP Business One implementations, 100 plus RPA consultant experts. You can move on to the next slide, Pranav, if you'd like. This slide here just highlights a little bit of our offerings. Again, this is not everything we do, but just a small sampling. So with your digital transformation, we can help pretty much with anything there, IoT, robotic processing, automation. So anything in the scope of digital transformation, we can probably help you out there. ERP solutions, we do partner with SAP and Odoo, depending on your business and your business needs. Enterprise software services, so anything from digital engineering to cloud development, mobile applications. Also managed security services. So we know security is a big buzzword these days. So everything cloud security, email security, endpoint security, even security awareness training. So pretty much got you covered on all things security as well. Modern workplace services, so your IT consulting, data center services, backup, disaster recovery, call centers, and then brings us to what we're all here to talk about today. So cloud services, public, private, virtual desktops, cloud management. Again, it's just a small sampling, but a high-level overview of some of the things we offer here at Silver Touch. You can move on to the next slide. So we do have a global presence. Again, we have about 2,000 employees now across the globe. Headquarters for our company is in India. And then we also have companies based in UK, Canada, and here in the US. And then one more slide here. This is just an overview of some of the industries we've served. As you can see here, we've worked with a wide range of industries throughout the globe. So basically, if you have a need somewhere in the IT space, depending on what your industry or vertical is, there's a good chance that we can help you here at Silver Touch with all of your IT needs. Next slide. And so that brings us to what we're here to talk about today. Everybody wants to learn a little bit more about private versus public cloud. At this point, I will be handing the presentation over to Pranav. He's our cloud solution expert. As we move through the webinar, if you have questions or thoughts, please feel free to drop those in the chat. And at the end of Pranav's presentation, we'll save a few minutes for question and answer. So without further ado, Pranav, the floor is all yours.
Hey, thank you, Tiffany, for setting up the stage and that excellent introduction. Good morning, good evening, and good noon to all of you who has taken the time and joined this webinar once again. My name is Pranav Parikh. I head the cloud business in Silvertouch, and I'm based out of India in the Gujarat state, practically nearly 23 degree from the equators north of the Tropic of Cancer. Okay. Now, today's agenda is to take you through the how cloud technologies and computing helps in the digital transformations. We will touch base on the difference between the public cloud, hybrid cloud, and private cloud. We will also discuss what are the silver touch practices for the cloud and key services for security as well as business continuity and our data migration. Before wrapping up, we will be concluding this session with our own initiatives in the cloud. So here I go. Let's talk about the critical components and drivers of the cloud of the digital transformation. This is a common now and known fact that digital transformation is driven by the cloud computing, and it is an essential part of the enablers and drivers for the digital transformations for across the industries. Now, what we have seen over a period of time, the access to the cutting edge technologies and like as a artificial intelligence, big data analytics are basically helping customers to drive their initiatives and in agility, bringing the agility, innovations, and informed decision makings with the data. Here are some of list of the proponents and drivers which is enabling the cloud transformations, which we, according to our engagement, I have listed over here. Now, these are not the whole list. Basically, there are many more reasons for the business to go for the digital transformation. But yeah, this is some of the few which we have observed and actually, envisaged over a period of time. Cloud computing platforms provides the pay-as-you-go model or an on-demand models for the payments. This basically helps in reducing the capex expenditures. Customer can leverage you use it for a certain period of time and pay for the usage on an hourly basis. This helps customers to invest their capex investment into more core businesses and rationalize the cost and provide the cost efficiency. The inherent capability of the cloud computing is to scale up the resources and scale down the resources helps customers in addressing the market change, responding to the market change very quickly. The agile development practices, methodologies, and tools and services for development fosters the iterations of the application development, making customer, making their products available in the market at a great speed and agility. The customer who are looking for the operational efficiency to streamline their processes can leverage the cloud technology, modernize them, use the data optimization techniques, and benefits by the enabling the operational efficiencies. So the example could be like, having understanding the real time insight about the operational data can help customers to route the logistics and do the logistic management and inventory management can be effective. Cloud technology offers a persistent and consistent, seamless multi-channel experience whereby the customer can integrate uh, multiple channels like websites, mobile applications, and social media, and even to the physical stores. This helps in the persistent customer engagement as well as driving the new product and service deliveries. The data tools that is available and the platform deliveries, platform use cases and services that is available on the cloud help customers to capture the vast amount of data at a scale and process them so that they can predict, do the predictive analytics, as well as uh, take the informed decisions. Customer looking for making the process mapping can streamline their processes by understanding the workflows of the existing processes, creating the optimized environment on the cloud and mapping it with the cloud technology. This helps customers in a great way. No digital transformation gets successful without the alignment of the stakeholders. Buying and active participations of the stakeholders, including leadership team, business units, IT teams, and customers and partner, is crucial for the driving the digital transformation. Sharing the same visions across all the team members reduces the reluctance in the approach and process the digital transformation with a collaborative manner. The use of the modern technology constantly allows customers to improve their services and products. This helps them to thrive in the digital space continuously. The other factor that is important in the important driver is the technology mapping. What kind of cloud services fits most suitable, absolutely most suitable for this journey? Whether it's a PaaS, whether it's a IaaS or a SaaS, it depends. Which model to be used, public cloud model, private cloud model. Again, those are the technology choice and decision making points that is important for the cloud digital transformation. Mapping this technology to the best extent to leverage the cloud benefit is important. These are some of the critical proponents and drivers that we have seen over a period of time while we are in from our customers who are actually in the journey of the digital transformation. Moving forward, ideation to implementation phase. Sorry, there's something happening now. Sorry for this. It just so we understand that most of the customers are in a journey of involving themselves and transforming their IT infrastructure, applications, and data. This is an this this ideation to implementation phase are basically a structured approach for the customer to to drive their journey in a more orderly form. Discovery phase is the foundational exercise where customer basically understand the requirement of streamlining their applications, services, processes, and which identify the digitization of which services can help them and benefits the most. In the vision phase, the customer can define their high level goals, what is exactly required, and what kind of vision they are carrying to deliver. For example, it could be like enhancing the customer experience or optimizing the manufacturing processes. Here, it also helps customer to define the space of their innovations, pace of their journey, and achieving the goal. We understand that most of the customer are basically having some kind of a footprint of digitization. They are already digitized something, but determining the maturity of this digitalization basically helps in identifying the gaps. It also helps customer by understanding that what all additional things is required in terms of investment, as well as what all additional digitization that they can carry out. So maturity phase is basically where customer has a self realization of understanding that where they want to go in a incremental manner. Identifying gap with respect to the people, processes, and the technology is very important. Here, we understand that not entire gaps can be fulfilled at a one go. But yes, that gives a realistic idea about achieving the gaps in a phase-wise manner. In the building roadmap is basically arriving at a uh, structured roadmap where you can with the milestone. This helps in absorbing the setbacks that comes during the digital transformation and also to change the priorities over a period of time. This also helps in basically accommodating the new technology or emerging technology that come across while achieving the goals. Consideration of the cloud services and applications is very important, and this space allows you to actually understand which technology best for you. Whether I am going to migrate the legacy applications, whether I am going to modernize the application, whether we are required to use the public cloud or a private cloud. That's all decision making and mapping can be happened over here in the cloud service and application phase. So this is a template kind of a thing that help you to register what exactly you are going to do right from the discovery to the consideration of cloud technologies and actually follow these things to in your digital transformation journey. Moving forward, here are the key technologies on the cloud which empowers the transformation. This is not the whole list, but then this is some of the technologies that we have seen that is driving the digitization and transformation across the industries. Artificial intelligence and machine learning and cognitive services, building the cognitive AI applications, uh, conversation AIs, extraction of the images, using of the natural language processes and speech translations are some of the services that helps in building the large scale AI based intelligent applications. Using the microservice architecture and developing the cloud native application helps customer to expedite time to market for with their products and services. This cloud platform provides the containerization using the Kubernetes services, helps in the portability and scalability of applications. Other technology that is making wave is that because of the growth of the organization and the data is the data analytics and data modernization. Modern data lakes and data warehouses basically provides a large scale of storage capabilities. Processing this data using the extract transport load or basically using the Spark clusters and Apache clusters for the data integration and data engineering services brings a lot of insight and informed decisions to the customer. Security, identity, and compliance is a core area for the cloud computing environment, and it is essential. A lot of services are enabled and available on the cloud platform, which help with the posture management, threat detections, integration with the log management, and stuff like that. So this helps in the achieving adherence to the compliance framework. Accessibility management using the rollback access controls, identity management, and conditional MFA, multi-factor authentication helps in building up the zero trust networks on the cloud environment. In today's world, no single applications are running independently and in isolated manner. The businesses has to interact with the third-party applications and systems and data. Integration services using the API gateway helps you to build the API, manage the APIs, and deploy these APIs in an efficient manner. This helps in extending the reach of the businesses across the ecosystem and make it more operationally efficiency. No wonder workforce collaboration is some enhances the productivity of the employees and the uh, third party users, basically leveraging the virtual desktops, working together, providing the intuitive and user friendly access to the resources and services makes a lot of difference. The cloud services like Teams, Google Workspace, file sharing capability of the cloud, and project management helps in achieving this goal. Now, coming to the point where we'll talk about the different models of the cloud deployment. Private cloud. Let's talk about the private cloud. By definition, it is a dedicated cloud computing environment which is used by the single organization. Private cloud provides secured and controlled environment where all resources are isolated, unlike the public cloud, which shares resources among multiple users. This is often deployed on-premise or third-party data centers. Since this is deployed within the firewall, the private cloud provides the high-end customizable. In case of the public cloud, there is normally a predefined SKUs with the specifications and tiers of the services that is required to be, used. While in case of the private cloud, this is not these are not the restrictions, and it can be highly customizable. This also enhances the data control and isolation and provides the security within the on-premises data center or third-party data center. However, the private clouds have a very high upfront capex cost and ongoing operational cost uh, for the deployment of the entire stack. Normally, customers who are into regulatory industries like banking, defense, pharmaceuticals, insurance, and government, who require the data sovereignty, who are basically regulated by the industries for the data locality, are the one who are going for the private kind of a scenario. The customer who has a legacy application not meant or unable to break it for the cloud or create the microservice based architecture, those kind of customers are also using the private cloud. Large customer enterprises who have an existing complex application running for the core businesses have a difficulty in migrating to the public cloud. They continue to work on premises, and that's the reason that they normally adopt the private cloud scenarios. And of course, R&D and innovation labs, which requires a high degree of the security, are the use cases for the private cloud. As a silver touch, we have aligned with many vendors to deliver this stack of a private cloud, whether it's a disaggregated stack or an integrated stack. We have a skill set to build these private clouds. We use leveraging the technologies of the VMware Cloud Foundations like vSAN, NSX, vRealize automations. At the same time, we also have a hyperconverged technologies where we are positioning Microsoft Azure Stack Hyperconverged Infrastructure certified by Dell EMC and Lenovo and the Nutanix Cloud Platform. We have a skill set of creating the automated templates for self-provisioning using the orchestration for the internal users. This is to bring the agility and the flavor of the complete public cloud using and tools like vRealize automation and Red Hat tools, open source tools like NC, Chat, Puppet, and stuff like that. Now moving to the public cloud. This is pretty common, like most of the customers are using public cloud nowadays, and they are well aware about the what it is and how it is basically. driving the different use cases. A public cloud, by definition, is a computing model where compute services like compute, storage, network, database, etc., are delivered over the public internet by third-party providers and shared among multiple tenants. This infrastructure is fully owned, managed, and operated by the cloud service provider. So it offers the multi-tenancy and the benefits of the on-demand access or self-service of the APIs. Public cloud brings the much required elasticity by scaling up the resources and scaling down the resources automatically. The pay-as-you-go or on-demand model reduces the cost and compared to the high upfront cost of the capex. At the same time, it offers the global accessibility so that the customers having an operation in the multiple locations can have access to their services locally in that particular region itself. Some of the use cases that we have basically able to work out over this period of time are website application hosting, database data backups and disaster recovery, software development testing, remote workspace, digital transformation using AI, ML, edge computing, cloud native application, and DevOps analytics. These are the few list of use cases, while there are many more that can be delivered through the public cloud. Our alliance in the region like EU, America, and Canada lies with the Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Services. While in the other region, we are also doing Oracle Cloud and Google Cloud Platform. Hybrid cloud is gives the mix of both benefits to the customer. It is a mixed compute environment where on-premise or third-party cloud can get integrated with the public clouds. There are certain customers who cannot able to move their legacy application or core application to the public cloud. At the same time, they wanted to leverage the benefits of the public cloud. So for those customers, it is the best suitable option that is available to integrate the on-premise and the cloud, public cloud, and create the workflow portability, centralized management across that. Some of the use cases where customers are leveraging the hybrid cloud are disaster recovery, setting up the offsite backups, setting up cloud busting as a demand comes, at a frequency of time when the demand is high, they leverage the busting of the virtual instances and application on the public cloud. And then once the demand is down, then those are basically moved back to the on-premise setup. Legacy application modernization, data residency and sovereignty, dev test environment, IoT and edge analytics are some of the use cases of the hybrid cloud. Again, this we delivered through our alliance and build up with most of the CSPs like AWS, Microsoft Azure Cloud, and Google Cloud Platform. Moving to the next slide, that is our cloud practices. We have a partnership with AWS and Azure, as I mentioned earlier, in EU, North America, and Canada. While in other regions, we are also having a partnership with our other CSPs like Oracle and local hosting providers. In addition to this, we have a vast experience of building up the enterprise class applications over more than 25 years now. This all helps us to develop our own cloud practices, and this is evolving over a period of time. The cloud strategy and advisory services basically helps customers with the readiness assessment of their current infrastructure and recommending them the optimized environment that they can be set up on the cloud, aligning them with their own business goals. Cloud architecture and design is basically creating the blueprint about the deployment and interconnectivity between the different services that is required to execute from the deployment perspective. We have more than 30 plus certified engineers for in the different categories like administrators, architecture, and experts, which help us to deliver this advisory and architecture services and deployment services. Migration and modernization are two distinct approaches, where migration is more adhered to the infrastructure as a service, lift and shift as a service or rehosting of the application, while modernization is all about redesigning, refactoring, re-architecting the application. With more than 500 developers with Silver Touch, expertise in most of the frameworks like Laravel, Kate PHP, and you name it, the modern frameworks like TensorFlows and PyTorch, we have a deep knowledge of programming, leveraging programming languages like Go, R, .NET, Java, and others. We are in a unique position right now for the customers, as we provide both of best of both of the world, where we can able to migrate the applications by using lift and shift technology, or we can modernize those applications by refactoring it completely on the cloud. Addition to this, we have also developed a practice of DevOps and automations. The team is having a deep understanding about developing the microservices based application, use leveraging the CI/CD pipelines, containerization, infrastructure as a code, and automations. This basically helps customers to change and release applications very quickly. AI, ML, data engineering is the another area where in the recent time we have invested a lot. We have more than 20 plus of skillful engineers for developing the AI-based application and data-driven applications. In recent times, we have also developed our own AI applications using custom-based model as well as leveraging the optimization of Llama and OpenAI and generative AIs. Silver Touch in India has a 20-seat SOC center where our team continuously monitors all the uh, cloud environment, detect the threats, and response to the threats. These SOC centers are basically meant for customers who wanted to have a security services and threat intelligence services. We have also have an alignment with the partners to carry out the advanced use cases like threat hunting or OT security, or who are looking for the forensics. Silvertas has a 20 plus NOC sitting capacity in India, which provides 24/7 support, operation monitoring, incident management for the cloud environment. So our cloud practices has, flexibility of adopting right from the strategic advisory to the management of the cloud services end to end. Cloud technologies, infrastructure services. Now, here, the majority of the service CSPs like AWS and Azure offers a wide range of infrastructure services, compute, storage, network, database, integrations, monitoring logs, and security. While they are offering the wide range of compute, storage, infrastructure services, and it is helpful in designing and deploying this infrastructure, it also creates a lot of complexity and decision-making issues. Selecting the right kind of compute, like generic computes for the balance application or bursting instances or memory intensive compute or GPU instances are the key decision making when you decide for the virtual machines. Again, how the life cycle of the object storage will flow, that is also a key important aspect that is required to be considered. So moving an object storage data from the hot storage tiers to the archived storage is something key considerations. Use of the managed databases like RDS, DynamoDB, or Aurora, or use of the containerization services like AKS are the key decision-making point where our presets and architectures provides the help in taking the decisions. In addition to this, our specialized team uh, basically adheres to the architectural frameworks of the CSPs and best practices. This includes deploying the landing zones with the account structures across the organization, using the infrastructure as a code templates or ARM templates is for the standardized deployment and blueprints. So, in nutshell, while there are many services for the compute and storage, you require a deep understanding about this and positioning this. So, our pre-sales and architecture team basically helps customers in doing so. AWS and Azure provides a large variation of services for CI/CD pipeline creations, containerizations, and to build the pipeline as well as deploy the pipeline using the containerization. The key decision making here considerations are how long the pipeline will be running and what kind of infrastructure is required to run this helps the customers in designing the solution, overall solutions appropriately. Our DevOps practices help customer in achieving this. There are several data services and analytics services available on the CSP cloud. AWS Glue or Azure Data Factory helps in delivering the data transformations and engineering. At the same time, AWS Redshift and Synapse Analytics helps in are the managed services for data warehousing. Aggregating a large amount of unstructured and structured data in the data lakes can be achieved by leveraging the services like AWS Lake Formations or AWS S3 or Azure Data Lakes. The, these are the services which are used to deliver the data analytics use cases like data engineering and um, running the real-time analytics on top of it. The key considerations here is that how long the data pipelines are going to run, what are the activities in how many quantities that is going to run. Those things basically required a sizing and uh, uh, actually appropriate pricing will only effectively optimize the cost of this delivery of this project. Some of the use cases here, as I mentioned here, are data ingestion and processing, where basically data capturing, processing using the ADF or AWS Glue can be taken place. AI-powered insights using the SageMaker or ML, Azure ML services, real-time dashboards creating using the Power BI or the quick sites. These are some of the use cases that we have worked on over a period of time, and we have a complete understanding about sizing and deployment of these services. Cloud platforms provides a vast range of AI core services ranging from machine learning, computer vision, natural languages, speech services, forecast anomaly detection, building up the conventional AI or virtual assistants, recommendation engine, and MIOL pipelines. These smart services, we have an AI practices where they are you leveraging these services to build up the common use cases like customer service bots, document intelligence, predictive maintenance, fraud detections, image video analysis, speech to text and translations, healthcare insights, retail and inventory forecasting. We have developed our own AI for pharma platform for the pharmaceutical professionals. The Chat GMP AI-powered platform basically allows to organize the GMP data, that is good manufacturing practice data, into a user-friendly structured form. It helps customers in FDA inspections and audits. It also has a unique chatbot which instantly answers the complex questions around the GMP data as well as the pharmaceutical queries. The BatchSmart is another product which we have released recently, where we are automatically highlighting what documentation error in the batch manufacturing records. It also provides the dashboard and visibility for the real-time summary, understanding the status of the batches, like whether it is clear, pending, or there is any gain. Coming to the security, compliance, and governance. Governance and compliance is essential for the cloud environment, and it is adherence to the compliance is the most vital thing when it comes to the cloud deployment. CSPs has the security model, which is a shared security model, whereby CSPs takes control and protection of their internal infrastructure, underlying hardware infrastructure of the IT and physical infrastructure. The responsibility lies with the CSP. Anything and everything deployed on top of it, the protection of the data and application is the customer's responsibility. There are several services tools that is available on the ASP and Azure, which help customers in the adherence of the governance and compliance. While compliance is more related to the regulations, laws, and industry standards, governance is a framework which is required to establish the policies and enforce the policies so that the compliance is maintained. Going from the right, policy and rules. Policy and rules is extremely important for the cloud governance and compliance. Defining the policies and enforcing the rules, like for example, restricting the virtual machine SKUs deployment to the particular resource group or type of virtual machines with the specifications, like using only 4 core 16 GB kind of a virtual machines to deploy or standardizing those kind of things and creating the rules around it is important. Enforcing this through using the tagging mechanism helps the customer to restrict the attack surface areas of the entire environment. Several services like AWS config, AWS organization, and Azure policy helps in achieving this goal. They continuously monitor the configuration changes and track these changes. If there are changes that it helps with the recommendations to correct this as per the requirement and the standard practices. Templates, use of templates is another best way where which helps in achieving the cloud governance and compliance. Templates are nothing but it's a YAML or JSON scripts which are getting deployed in a standardized format, which uses the code, infrastructure code as a deployment methodology, which standardize the deployment with the pre-configured environment, and it makes it repeatable At the same time, it helps with the versioning. Using the ARM templates basically create the like AWS CloudFront basically create the standardized deployment. This helps in auditing. At the same time, it stops the proliferation of resources at the cloud level. Identity and access management is a crucial aspect where you can define the granular access and authorizations for the users. Rollback access control, conditional access using the MFA are some of the things that is delivered using the Azure Entra ID or AWS Identity Access Management. Coming to the right, security and compliance. Cloud services like AWS config, AWS security hubs, Microsoft Defender basically helps customers in tracking the configuration compliances, vulnerability scans, and uh, any lapse in the configuration with respect to the standard policies or standard artifacts. It will able to give you recommendations on top of it. If there is any ports open, examples could be like any ports are open or any privilege access is being given or the private links are not established. Those are the things that the recommendations comes. This helps in, identifying the breaches and at the same time mitigating those breaches by the threat protection. It provides the overall security postures. Several services are used for the audit and transparency. Auditing environment by internal team as well as by the external auditors is very much prudent in case of the cloud computing for most of the organization. Services like AWS CloudWatch, CloudTrail basically logs all the activities of the users, API calls, and uh, and all the matrices that is captured from the monitoring services. This helps in querying the logs and actually helping the auditors that what has happened, identifying the securities, lapses, and breaches, and this is the way that the helping the overall cloud governance and compliance model. Cost governance is all about allocating the budgets and forecasting the usage. Azure Cost Manager or Azure AWS Budget basically helps you to define the policies and the budgets for the spending for the all the resources. This helps in creating the alerts when the budgets are exceeded. At the same time, it helps in right sizing the instances by providing the recommendations. Overall, policy rules, templates, identity access management, security compliance services, audit transparency services, and cost governance basically helps the overall achievement of the cloud governance and compliance. Cloud offers several security services, which is classified under identity and access management, infrastructure protections, data protections, detections, and incident response. Both AWS and Amazon, Azure has a list of services which can be used as per the use given. It is important that these services cost a lot and uh, uh, needs to be used and judiciously. The application which is not internet facing may not require a web application firewall. There are key decision making points that is required. Whether the network security groups alone can be used or whether the advanced IDS IPS filtering is required in a certain use cases. Depending upon this, the call has to be taken whether to use these services or not. Whether the regional level DDoS protection is sufficient, which is coming free from both the service providers, or whether I wanted to protect my own tenants and accounts by leveraging the advanced DDoS protections and is the key decisions that needs to be taken. Since CSPs are not the security vendors, they are not the core security providers, services provider. So in many cases, it is important to use the third-party services of the security from the marketplace or from the uh, individual security vendors to carry out certain use cases. For example, anti-malware protections or host intrusion protection services of or OT or correlations of the SIEM could be the example of using the third-party services. Silvertage is aligned to the many security vendors like FortiGate, Sophos, Palo Alto to help customers address those kind of needs around the security where some of these services are not available on the CSP portals or CSP portfolios. Moving ahead, there's a migration. Let's talk about the migration approach and methodology that Silvertouch is adopting. At a high level, we adopt lift and shift tactics, cloud bonds, and lift and modernization tactics, where basically in the lift and shift system techniques, we normally lift and shift virtualized instances from the on-premises, or we migrate the physical servers into an infrastructure platform, IaaS platform of the cloud. In the cloud world, basically what we do is we leverage the past services like managed databases on the cloud. At the same time, we use the native development techniques using the DevOps and modernize the services applications on the cloud. The key is not only the migration of these services, applications, but also to configure the security, operational management, and cost optimization measures in the cloud. So our migration phase start with the server discovery and assessment services. We leverage several uh, server assessment tools like VMware, HCX, Azure Migrate, AWS Migrate Hub, Manage Engine of Managers, JBix, and Nagios. This provides the complete visibility of the current IT infrastructure. It captures the performance and basically map it to the exact sizing or of the cloud. Most of the time, the on-premise resources are over-provisioned, and this can be, fine-tuned by the right sizing, understanding the utilizations. It also helps in understanding the interdependencies of the applications. So assessment tools, server assessments and migration, we follow an approach, multiple approach for the migration, depending upon the use case. The most traditional ones are export, import, or backup of restore of the databases or virtual machines. Exports of OVA, OVF, MD, VMDK, or VHD files, and then conversion are some of the traditional methodology that has been adopted to migrate the on-premise virtual workload. At the same time, using for specialized applications running with the Oracle or SAP ERP, we leverages the tools like Oracle RMN, DataGates, or SAP System Center cockpits, R3 loads to migrate these databases. Our team has carried out multiple such assessments and migrations for the on-premise workloads. So many a times we uses the third-party uh, migration tools like Carbonite Migrate, Veeam Backup Recovery, or IBM Turbonomics. We have a partnership with this uh, OEMs helping us in migration scenarios where the native approach or cloud-borne approaches or services are not helpful. Business continuity and DR services. Cloud services, cloud platforms like AWS and Azure provides a very broad range of business continuity services. The database, high availability. The cloud data centers are basically set up with the high availability zones, which are isolated data center with the redundant powers, connectivity, and interconnected uh, with the low latency networks. This helps in carrying out the multi high availability, uh, multi-zone high availability use cases with the near zero data loss kind of a scenarios. Backup recovery is a point-in-time backups. Disaster recovery is basically carried out by using the elastic disaster recovery and cross-region replications for the S3. So these are basically used for creating the offsite copy and active and passive or active kind of a scenarios on the cloud. Coming to the managed services, we have observability and management services, as I mentioned, built up on our open source Nagios, Zabbix, and sometimes we are using other applications like Elasticsearch for the application management and managed operations APM services. This is the list of the infrastructure provisioning and observability services that we are providing, which includes the observability of availability and uptime, database backup, application monitoring, automations, and DevOps services. There are also technical supports available for 25/7 from the NOC, and we do the migration, onboarding, strategic consultancy, and cost management optimizations. At the same time, SOC provides security incident management monitoring and response, policy governance, identity access management, vulnerability management, and many more such services. We also have 3 data centers hosted for the customers who are having an operation in UK and USA. They can leverage this for the SAP B1. We have more than 50 plus customers right now onboarded for the SAP B1 HANA running on these data centers in USA East and UK. The key differentiation of these data centers of running the used for the running SAP HANA is the zero trust based application access provided by enabling the real-time geo context logging, device profile logging, and enabling the DLP. We provide a strong authentication using MFA2FA and anti-malware protections on these data centers. We are also having a package offering for the development and testing of the SAP B1 on these data centers at a very effective pricing. Our CSPs and vendor alliances are as below. Like we are aligned, as I mentioned, with the AWS and Microsoft Azure in the EU, CA, and USA. In addition to this, we have also have alignment with the security vendors, backup vendors, data management, firewalls, and many others. Some of the projects that we have carried out over a period of time in the industries like life science, pharma, healthcare, education, energy manufacturing, these are the solutions that we have basically deployed across the industries, leveraging public cloud, IaaS, and PaaS. So with this, I'm coming to an end of my presentation. Here is the list of the contacts which you like to, you can contact Mr. Kunjan Jasani, our CEO of USA, Adas Parikh, CEO Canada, Samantha Kelly, Business Development Director UK, and Vinod Karia, VP Infrastructure in India. I'm open for any questions. Thank you for your patience and hearing me out.
Thanks, Pranav. Thanks, Tiffany. I think we are running short of time, but we do not have any questions so far in the chat. But team and anyone over here, if you have any questions, feel free to connect with us and drop us an email, and we are happy to answer those questions. And we can definitely help you out with your digital transformation journey. Thank you so much once again. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Pranav, for being here. And thank you, all the participants, for joining us today. Thank you once again, and have a good day. Good night.